Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to our second virtual Philos meal. I hope that you're comfortably seated in your home and that you're sat with your afternoon tea box ready to go. We have some interesting things again for you today. We have Chris and Lawrence are going to entertain us with some music, and then Abby has a 20-question quiz. So remember, have a pen and a piece of paper ready so you can put your answers down. And then we're going to follow that with an interview with Alistair Bennett from the Bethany Trust. And the Bethany Trust are very active in Scotland, and they look after homeless people. They also have a number of other units like women's refuges, and they're very active in the sector dealing with people that are vulnerable. And so we're looking forward to hearing what he has to say to us today. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You got a friend. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You got a friend. You got a friend. You got a friend. Hey folks, hope you're doing okay. Chris here, and missing you all, missing being with you, watching you eat, which is a real privilege, obviously. So yeah, I hope you're well. It's October. I'm recording this, doing a little message for you to say hello, and I'm going to do some music. Oh, there's the cat. Meow. Yes, hello. Wanting to steal the limelight. Yeah, well, all right. Yeah, okay. Do you want to see him? Oh. Yeah. Okay, this is little Blue. There we go. There we go. He's a snow Bengal. Oh, this is Brian, actually. Get your name right. There you go. So anyway, I'm going to do some songs for you. What I'm going to do is just kind of edit in some previous recordings of songs I've done for my Facebook page, and just put a little medley together for your enjoyment. And keep safe, folks, and keep well. God bless you. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Slow down, you move too fast. You got to make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun, feeling groovy. I got no deeds to do, no promises to keep. I'm dabbled and drowsy and ready to sleep. Let the morning time drop all its petals on me. Life, I love you, all is groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. We'd like to know a little bit about you for our fires. We'd like to until you feel at home. And here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked along narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the golden dam, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light. Split the night and touch the sound of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning, and the words that it was forming, and the sign said the words of the prophet are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, and whispered in the sound of silence. There you go, Lorraine. Okay. Let's do this boxer. This is where I need Bryn. I'm just a poor boy, and my story's seldom told. I've squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such a promises. All lies and jest, still a man hears what he wants to hear, disregards the rest. La, 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 la. When I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy in a company of strangers, in the quiet of a railway station, running scared, laying low, seeking out the poorer quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know. Lie, 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 asking only buskers' wages. I come looking for a job and I get no offers, just to come on from the horse on 7th Avenue. I do declare there were times when I was so lonesome, I took some comfort there. Here we go. Lie, 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 Celia, you're breaking my heart, you're shaking my confidence, baby. Oh, Cecilia, I'm down on my knees, I'm begging you please to come home. Oh, making love in the afternoon, Cecilia, up in my bedroom, making love, get up to wash my face. Come back to bed, someone's taking my place. Hey, Celia, you're breaking my heart, you're shaking my confidence, baby. Oh, Cecilia, I'm down on my knees, I'm begging you please to come home. Oh, thank you very much, folks. You take care of yourselves, and thank you for joining me with Crooning in the Cottage with Chris, and I'll see you soon.
Now these are 3 steps to heaven. Just listen and you will really see. And as life travels on and wings to go wrong, just follow steps 1, 2, and 3. Step 1. Find a girl to love. Step 2, she falls in love with you. Step 3, you kiss and hold her tightly. Well, that you seem like this to me. Very simple. Just follow the rules and you'll see. And as life travels on and things do go wrong, you just follow steps 1, 2, and 3. Step 1, you find a girl to love. Step 2, she falls in love with you. Step 3, you kiss and hold her tightly. Well, that you seems like heaven to me. Just follow steps 1, 2, and 3. It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished them well. You could see that he had truly loved the mademoiselle. And all the young was wedded to that lovely mademoiselle. C'est la vie, c'est the old folk, it goes to show you never can tell. It was a teenage wedding, only old folks wished them well. You could see that Pierre truly loved the mademoiselle. And now the young monsieur and madame are from the chapel bell. C'est la vie, c'est the old folk, it goes to show you never can tell. C'est la vie, c'est the old folk, it goes to show you never can tell.
Good evening and welcome to this month's Philos quiz. I'm Abby and I'm back as your quiz master. This quiz consists of 20 questions split over 2 rounds. And unfortunately, I didn't hear from anybody, I didn't get any text, so I don't think anybody scored more than 20 last month. But as they say, it's the taking part that counts. So this month, if you score more than 13, so if you get more than 13 correct, we would like you to text your name and your score to 0797 567 6102. And hopefully this is the point where next month I can read out a few names of our high scorers. So to get going with the quiz, we'll start with round 1, question 1. How many holes does a typical golf course consist of? A, 16, B, 18, or C, 20? So how many holes does a typical golf course consist of? A, 16, B, 18, or C, 20? Question number 2 is YKK is the largest manufacturer of what in the world? A, zips, B, shoelaces, or C, buttons? So YKK is the largest manufacturer of what in the world? A, zips, B, shoelaces, or C, buttons? Question number 3 is what currency is used in Turkey? So what currency is used in Turkey? Question number 4 is according to the official Walker's Crisps website, what is their most popular flavour of crisps? So according to the official Walker's Crisps website, what is their most popular flavour of crisps? Question number 5 is how many keys are there on a standard piano? A, 80, B, 86, or C, 88? So how many keys are there on a standard piano? A, 80, B, 86, or C, 88? Question number 6 is the car manufacturer Ford built the Focus to replace which model? Was it A, an Escort, B, a Granada, or C, a Capri? So the car manufacturer Ford built the Focus to replace which model? A, an Escort, B, a Granada, or C, a Capri? Question number 7 is in what year was the Channel Tunnel first opened? A, 1992, B, 1994, or C, 1996? So in what year was the Channel Tunnel first opened? A, 1992, B, 1994, or C, 1996? Question number 8 is Dundee was famous for the 3 J's. jam, jute and what? So Dundee was famous for the 3 J's, jam, jute and what? Question number 9 is a European shoe size 38 is the equivalent to what UK size? A 5, B a 6 or C a 7? So a European shoe size 38 is the equivalent to what in UK sizes? A 5, B a 6 or C a 7? And question number 10 is why was a postbox in Dunblane painted gold in 2012? So why was a postbox in Dunblane painted gold in 2012? Now we will go through the answers for this round, moving back to question 1, which was how many holes does a typical golf course consist of? And you had to choose from A 16, B 18 or C 20, and the answer is B 18. A traditional typical golf course consists of 18 holes. Question 2 was why KK is the largest manufacturer in the world of what? A zips, B shoelaces or C buttons? And the correct answer is A zips. So why KK is the largest manufacturer in the world of zips? Question 3 was what currency is used in Turkey? And the answer is the Turkish lira. So the currency used in Turkey is the Turkish lira. Question number 4 is according to the official Walker's Crisps website, what is their most popular flavour of crisp? And the answer is cheese and onion. The cheese and onion is Walker's most popular crisp. Question number 5 was how many keys are there on a standard piano? A 80, B 86 or C 88? And the correct answer is C 88. A standard piano consists of 88 keys. Question number 6 was the car manufacturer Ford built the Focus to replace which model? A, the Escort, B, the Granada, or C, the Capri? And the correct answer is A, the Escort. So the car manufacturer Ford built the Focus to replace the Escort. Question number 7 is in what year was the Channel Tunnel first opened? A, 1992, B, 1994, or C, 1996? And the correct answer is B, 1994. The Channel Tunnel was first opened in 1994. Question number 8 was Dundee was famous for the 3 J's, jam, jute and what? And it was jam, jute and journalism. So Dundee was famous for the 3 J's, which are jam, jute and journalism. Question number 9 is a European shoe size 38 is the equivalent to what UK size? And was it A 5, B 6 or C 7? And the answer is A 5. So European shoe size 38 is the same as a UK size 5. Question 10 was why was a postbox in Dunblane painted gold in 2012? And the correct answer is because Andy Murray won gold at the London Olympics. Or Andy Murray won gold at the Olympics, any variation of that. So a postbox in Dunblane was painted gold in 2012 because Andy Murray won gold at the London 2012 Olympics. We'll move on to round 2, which also consists of 10 questions, starting with question 11, which is, in which sport would you use a shuttlecock? So in which sport would you use a shuttlecock? Question number 12 is, which bird can fly backwards? So which bird can fly backwards? Question number 13 is a Munro is the name for a Scottish mountain above which height? A, 2,000 feet, B, 3,000 feet, or C, 5,000 feet? So a Munro is the name for a Scottish mountain above which height? A, 2,000 feet, B, 3,000 feet, or C, 5,000 feet? Question number 14 is what is a curling stone traditionally made out of? A, limestone, B, granite, or C, marble? So what is a curling stone traditionally made out of? A, limestone, B, granite, or C, marble? Question number 15 is what percentage of the Earth's surface is water? A, 68%, B, 71%, or C, 76%? So what percentage of the Earth's surface is water? A, 68%, B, 71%, or C, 76%? Question number 16 is what is the largest organ in the human body? A, the liver, B, the kidneys, or C, the skin? So what is the largest organ in the human body? A, the liver, B, the kidneys, or C, the skin? Question number 17 is what is the capital city of Portugal? So what is the capital city of Portugal? And we've got our final 3 questions now of the quiz. And these 3 questions relate to our guest speaker for tonight, who is Alistair Bennett from the Bethany Christian Trust. So question 18 is when was the Bethany Christian Trust founded? A, 1977, B, 1983, or C, 1992? So when was the Bethany Christian Trust founded? A, 1977, B, 1983, or C, 1992? Question 19 is how many people does the Bethany Christian Trust support in Scotland each year? A, 3,000 people, B, 5,000 people, or C, 7,000 people? So how many people does the Bethany Christian Trust support in Scotland each year? A, 3,000 people, B, 5,000 people, or C, 7,000 people? And our final question is question 20, and that is, where did the Bethany Christian Trust first start serving people in need? A, Leith in Edinburgh, or B, Parkhead in Glasgow? So question 20, where did the Bethany Christian Trust first start serving people in need? A, Leith in Edinburgh, or B, Parkhead in Glasgow? So now we'll go through the answers for the final round. We'll move back to question 11, which was, in which sport would you use a shuttlecock? And that is in badminton. So you would use a shuttlecock in badminton. Question number 12 is which bird can fly backwards? And it is a hummingbird. So a hummingbird is able to fly backwards. Question number 13 was a Munro is the name for a Scottish mountain above which height? A, 2,000 feet, B, 3,000 feet, or C, 5,000 feet? And the correct answer is B, 3,000 feet. So a Munro is a name for a Scottish mountain which is above 3,000 feet. Question 14 was what are curling stones traditionally made of? A, limestone, B, granite, or C, marble? The correct answer is B, granite. So curling stones are traditionally made of granite. Question number 15 was, what percentage of the Earth's surface is water? A, 68%, B, 71%, or C, 67%? The correct answer is B, 71%. So 71% of the Earth's surface is water. Question number 16 was, what is the largest organ in the human body? A, the liver, B, the kidneys, or C, the skin? And the answer is C, the skin. So your skin is the largest organ in your body. Question 17 is, what is the capital city of Portugal? And the correct answer is Lisbon. So Lisbon is the capital city of Portugal. Question 18 was, when was the Bethany Christian Trust founded? A, 1977, B, 1983, or C, 1992? And the correct answer is B, 1983. The Bethany Christian Trust was founded in 1983. Question 19 was, how many people does the Bethany Christian Trust support in Scotland each year? A, 3,000, B, 5,000, or C, 7,000? And the correct answer is C, 7,000. So the Bethany Christian Trust supports 7,000 people in Scotland every year. And finally, question 20 was, where in Scotland did the Bethany Christian Trust first start serving people in need? A, Leith in Edinburgh, or B, Parkhead in Glasgow? And the correct answer is A, Leith in Edinburgh. So the Bethany Christian Trust first started serving people in need in Leith in Edinburgh. And that is the quiz for this month. I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and I hope you've managed to get a few answers correct. And I do look forward to hearing from anybody who has scored more than 13. If you remember to give me a text, and you could be on my highest scorer list next month. Thank you.
Well, folks, our special guest at this Philos meal is Alistair Bennett, and he is the Chief Executive of the Bethany Trust. He'll tell you a bit about what the Bethany Trust does and the amazing work they do across Scotland with homeless people. So it's a great privilege to have him sharing with us this afternoon. It's great to see you, Alistair. How are you doing?
Yeah, good to see you, Brian. Yeah, I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm doing fine. It's been an interesting time, of course, for everybody. But family's well and loved ones are doing okay. So yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. Alistair, maybe just to start us off, could you tell us a wee bit about yourself, just a wee bit about your kind of background and you know, how you came to faith and how you ended up doing what you're doing just now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I grew up in New Haven in Edinburgh and come from a family, well, all of us, there's 6 of us all in, myself, 2 brothers and a sister, mum and dad. Great upbringing, had a good time growing up, probably till about the age of about 15, 16, and really through my own choices just started going off the rails in different respects. From probably about 16 up to 19, I would say, I just started making bad choices around all sorts of things. At the time, I went to do engineering for a couple of years in Strathclyde, but by the time I was 19, I was in bits, really. I was mentally not in a good place. I was spiritually wrecked. Not that I had a relationship with the Lord prior to that, but I was just a mess. So by the time I was 19, I was seeking for answers. I was seeing psychiatrists, psychologists, GPs. I was trying out anything that might help me feel better, get better, etc. And my brother said to my mum, do you think Alistair needs to see a minister? Which I think they just thought, let's do something radical for this guy. So I was up for that. Off I went to see this minister, an elder minister in the south side of Edinburgh. And the thing I was carrying, I mean, I was carrying a lot. I was carrying a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. But the main thing I was carrying was guilt over some things that I'd done that were too far, even for my own conscience at that time. And I shared this stuff with this minister, and he told me the gospel. So he told me the good news, and I must have heard it. We went to church when we were wee. You know, we were at Sunday school and we were around about the church as youngsters. I must have heard it, but it felt like I'd never heard it. And he told me that Jesus Christ had taken my guilt and my sin and my mistakes and my mess upon him so that I could be forgiven and I could be free. And it completely, my heart just received it. It filled my mind, and I was just like, this is amazing. And then on the back of that, a couple of weeks later, I realized that in talking to these folks who were Christians that were a fellowship down in the south side of Edinburgh, and realized I needed to give my life to the Lord. And it wasn't just what he'd done for me, but I needed to surrender and say yes to him. So I did that when I was 19, and best decision I've ever made by 1,000 miles. And he rescued me, he lifted me from the miry clay, he set my feet upon the rock. I knew forgiveness, and then my mind healed over probably about 18 months. Quite a long journey of trying to combat fears and worries and different things, but bit by bit came through it. And then went back to uni and did theology. So I had this notion I might be a minister myself. That was probably about 2021. Went to New College in Edinburgh, and I was thinking, I wonder if I would be a minister. But as the years went on in the studies, I just knew a real strong call in my heart to get alongside those that were struggling with the kind of things that I'd struggled with and more. So people who were homeless, not that I had been, but people who were homeless, people that were struggling with addictions, people that were really at their lowest ebb. And my wife and I met Katie at the college there. My wife and I, we ended up just having an increased draw towards supporting people in such circumstances. And I knew that the parish ministry wasn't for me as such. And then finished up at uni, saw this job at the Bethany Christian Centre, which was just exactly what I felt I was looking for, to support people, men who were going through the mill with all sorts of situations. Applied and started there in 1997. So that was me. Started at Bethany, and I've been there ever since. So so I love it. I got to know Alan and Anne very, very well. I meet up with them regularly. They founded Bethany back in '83, and we catch up for lunch fairly often to chat. The team, got 200 staff now and about 2,500 volunteers. And I've been chief exec since August 2018. But every role I've had in Bethany, I've loved it. Just the opportunity to serve and to get alongside people in different ways. So that's a wee snapshot of things.
Sure. Well, that's fascinating. And you've given some statistics there about Bethany. I mean, that's amazing. 200 full-time staff and over 2,000 volunteers. I mean, when I think about Bethany, I just kind of think about, like, you know, homeless shelters, because that's what I kind of associate it with. Maybe it would be helpful if you could say, you know, when you started 23 years ago, you know, what was it like when you started working in places like the homeless shelters? Give us some kind of colour to that. And then, you know, what is Bethany like today? Because clearly, with that number of people, it's not just homeless shelters you're running.
Yeah. Well, in 1997, I started at the Bethany Christian Centre, which was a recovery project for men, essentially, a bit like a rehabilitation unit. And back in the early days, Bethany was very much a crisis intervention service in its origin. So people who were on the street, men and women who were worse for wear, going through all sorts of personal challenges, and the services that were set up were responding to that crisis. So we had Bethany House, a large supported 28-bed service for people who were needing resettlement, the centre where I worked, and a whole host of services that were geared towards supporting people in that moment. And then as things developed, we added, very early on, we added housing and support to support people on from the hostels. So they didn't just get support at that stage, but we purchased flats in and around the locale that we were in, which was Leith originally. And then through partnering with the church across Scotland, just developed that over the years. So providing really quality homes with support is a big part of what we do now. And not just the housing in itself, but the actual support to make sure people are really feel like connected and well supported, linked in with the church, linked in with the community. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, we were really thinking, you know, how can we go further upstream to prevent people ending up in this circumstance in the first place? So what about the young people coming through schools? What about the prison leavers? What about the people that were in the community teetering on the edge of homelessness, but they, you know, if no one helped out, they would end up in a crisis. So we introduced a whole kind of amount of homelessness prevention services. So that would be supporting people leaving the prison, working with teenagers in high schools, particularly in areas of deprivation, supporting people through befriending in the community, working with people across just a whole sector. So last year we were at out of the blue, someone had put us forward for an award with Premier Christian Radio. And we don't necessarily go in for awards ourselves very much. We don't apply for them, but someone had put us in for one, and it was the breadth of work that had stood out to them. And I think that's it. Just over the last sort of 6 or 7 years in particular, the breadth of work has just kind of grown to wherever somebody is struggling, we seek to be there, but still linked to homelessness in some form.
When we went into lockdown, I was thinking about you guys, and I was wondering, how is this going to affect what you do? Because, you know, I read in the paper that the government was going to take over hotels and fill the hotels with the homeless, which I thought was great. And I thought, well, why did we not do this before? You know, but you know, I thought to myself, is that going to make Bethany redundant in this? You know, are you going to have all your shelters closed down? How has COVID impacted your work in this at the current time?
Yeah, so we deliberately just put ourselves on the front foot in those discussions and relationships. So we approached the government ourselves, Scottish government, local authority government as well, and just said, look, this pandemic, it was right on the edge of kind of developing. It was middle of March, and we were saying we need to get people off the streets. And so ourselves and some other charities were very proactive in that respect. So from middle of April, we operated the care shelter in Edinburgh from a hotel. So we had up to 70 people staying in that hotel at any one time. And it was on Princes Street. It was very open, but thankfully all the shops were closed in the sense of, not thankfully in terms of economically, but just it wouldn't have worked to have it right on the front of Princes Street otherwise. But we ran that for three and a bit months and supported just under 500 people through that hotel into further accommodation. So we were very involved. I mean, the local authorities and the Scottish Government would see Bethany Christian Trust as a go-to, amongst others, for a charity to approach and see what can we do together in this crisis. But you're absolutely right. The pandemic highlighted opportunities that should have been taken years ago. I mean, why don't we get everybody off the street every year, every winter? So this year, we're about to do similar with tonight, in fact. Well, although you'll be watching this a bit later, but in October, we started a welcome centre, overnight welcome centre in Haymarket in Edinburgh, supporting 50 people a night into further accommodation who would be sleeping rough otherwise. And then across all our services, we just kind of made sure that safety was a priority. But we had a decision to make in March. We thought we can either shrink back, batten down the hatches, do the bare essentials and get through this as a charity, or we can see the need, respond to that need, increase our response, not worry about ourselves as a charity, but focus on the people in crisis and in need. So we chose the latter, which I was delighted with. The leadership and the board and managers were all like 100% people need us now. And we've just been enabled to do so many things. We've done emergency supply packs to people in crisis. We've been able to get digital support like mobile phones and access to digital inclusion to people. We started this hotel project, which was great, and managed to support people off the streets. We started a women's project in the middle of it, in the beginning of April, and we were so far down the road that we couldn't really put the brake on it without, letting go of a hold the staff, and also the need of the women that were coming into that circumstance. So we started that project, 12 beds, therapeutic women's project, and we kind of increased the gas, to be honest. Everything increased, and but with it, we've just won God's favour to kind of fulfil those things and make sure everything was COVID safe, and continued all our services.
Fantastic. And I guess really the government said that's the policy, but I guess they wouldn't have the capability or the people to man the project. So you basically partnered with them and provided the professional support that was needed, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, you've always been very upfront about your Christian faith and the motivation that brings for you. I mean, just in a minute, could you give us an example of, in recent times, somebody that's come through your process and has had their life transformed? Just give us maybe an example of a person, this type of person that would be impacted by what you do.
Yeah, so in the Women's Project, the new service, Anne Hope House, a young woman came in there. She was 18-year-old, very vulnerable, very broken, and she attended a group in the centre that morning, and it was about the exploration of faith and could God heal and could God restore. And it came to the point at the end of the meeting, there was prayer, and she received prayer for a physical ailment that she was suffering. And she just felt like, oh, something happened there, God's healed me. And the next thing, she was like, I want to follow Jesus Christ, and gave her life to the Lord. And that was quite an exceptional one, in the sense of, like, it's not our typical situation, but it was just a moment in time. She gave her life to the Lord. She moved on quite quickly, as it happens, but positively. And she's now flourishing as she goes on to her next steps.
There's one final kind of question, because we're in Perth. Have you folks got any plans for Perth?
Yes, we do. Yes, we would love to partner, and we're on the cusp of partnering with the various churches in Perth. It's been on our hearts, and it was really struck in my heart about a year ago now, to think about doing something fuller in Perth. So we are on the cusp of discussions with a number of local church leaders, including at the Nazarene church there, and we're really excited about it. We're not entirely sure what form it will take, but it will be supporting people at their point of need, whatever that is, and that could be a whole range of different things.
Alistair, thank you for sharing with us today. I understand that Bethany now has a total budget of $6 million a year that you're spending on helping on these various projects and helping people, and we just admire the work that you're doing, and we want to uphold you in prayer. And I hope if we get a project going in Perth, that some of the people that are listening to this might be able to be part of helping with that. Thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you so much. Yes, that would be wonderful, and really appreciate the opportunity. I hope all you folks are blessed today and encouraged, and thank you for the opportunity to share.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed that interview, and I found it really encouraging and inspiring that such a big organisation working in Scotland with homeless and vulnerable people. And as I thought about it, sometimes when you go to your bed at night, it's a good thing just to lie in your bed and thank God for the fact that you have a bed and you have a roof over your head. I'm also reminded that Jesus told a story about the prodigal son who went away from home and ended up really homeless and living with the pigs and feeding the pigs. But the story tells us that he decided to go home to his father. And when he got home, his father welcomed him with open arms. And Jesus told this story because really all of us are really homeless spiritually. We're wandering on our own, trying to find our way through the world. And what Jesus was telling in this story is that God has a place for each one of us, a place where we can find forgiveness and find peace and find meaning. And we can find that through Jesus Christ. And I'm glad there was a day in my life when I made that discovery for myself. Well, folks, that's us over now, but we're going to finish off. Instead of praying together, I'm going to have the blessing played. This is very interesting. This song came out at the beginning of lockdown, and it was given to this guy, and he felt it was a gift to him that was needed in these difficult times. And it takes a whole lot of different churches in Britain to put this together. The music's fantastic. But as we close off our Philos meal, why don't you just close your eyes and listen to this wonderful blessing. And that blessing has been sung over you all. We hope that you'll stay safe and that God will continue to protect and preserve you. And we look forward to seeing you at our next Philos meal, which will be at the end of November.
The Lord bless you and keep you.
Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you
And give you peace. The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you
and be gracious to you.
The Lord turn his face toward you
And give you peace.
The Lord bless you
And keep you.
Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you
And give you peace.
Amen. 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 Amen.
pray a blessing, manna rain down from heaven. This isn't second guessing, we know that we are protected. May the peace that surpasses all understanding be our message. Grace and favors in your nature, in your
May
essence.
His favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May His favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children. May His favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family, and your children, and their children, and their children.